Hello and welcome back to the Pleistocene channel. My name is Daniel. This is Space Engineers Solo Survival. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get in today. I just wanted to show you our new solar array completed. I'm going to try to do this in spectator mode again if I can figure out how. Alright, here we go. Alright. So, I apparently messed up. Ah, no! I apparently hit the wrong button and they both started spinning. Okay. Let's see if I can figure this out. First of all, let's turn back on our HUD options so I can at least see the connections here. Alright, okay, we got that and that. Okay, if we can match them up here. Okay, so that's about matched up. Okay, and then if I change to our second setting, now they'll actually like move together. So yeah, this is our solar array. Finished for the time being. I need to line that up a little bit. Which one is it? Okay. Yeah, so lined up for the time being, we can go. We can both change the pan and the tilt of the solar arrays so that we can, face them toward the sun as much as possible. Now we do still have to do this manually. I think I mentioned that in the last video. You still have to do this manually, but on the other hand, it should give us at least a little more control over how much power we're getting into the station at any one time. So I think this is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool addition to the station. And it kind of makes the useless power solar panels that pretty much become useless during the day. It gives us a little bit more control over how we're getting power in, because now we've got all 12 of these panels fully powered. And even though technically the sun's behind that mountain, but we're still getting enough power, solar power into the station to, I think, in my opinion, make it worth it. So. Alright, so we're going to be tackling something very interesting today. Let me go out of spectator mode now. Alright, let me check on my hydrogen reserves. I should have probably done that before we started recording. So we're going to do something pretty big today. I want to get a pretty big mining operation, an iron mining operation up and running. It's going to be both iron and ice mining, because those are the two things that we're going to need a lot of to be able to start making our way into building bigger ships and getting off the planet, because we will need hydrogen to be able to get into outer space. So we're going to have some kind of efficient way to mine a lot of iron. Iron and ice to create hydrogen. So let's go ahead and we've got a few steel plates. Let's get more steel plates, and we're gonna start, building the beginnings of what I would call some kind of platform. Now, if you'll remember our last foray into building some kind of, mining station out here on the ice, met with certain disaster as cyberhounds started coming over and destroying it after our station after the turrets ran out of ammo. But I think we can make that work. Okay, so I'm gonna actually bring it off of. Well, actually, do I want to bring it off of that? Either way, I want to connect it to the main station. I want the iron to be able to come out of the ground and connect directly to the main station without having to go through any channels. So we're gonna have to build a big long line of conveyors, and I'm trying to decide if I want to hook it directly to here or not. I think I do, even if we need to modify this line right here is just perfect for coming out to that point. So I'm gonna connect this up so that we can modify that block on top. So that actually, I don't know actually if that will. So we're gonna connect up this connector block to some steel plates so I can deconstruct this one without losing the entire chain. And of course I filled up my inventory, so it just fell right to the ground. That's okay. We'll need some interior plates anyway to be able to build this. Let's put all these things up. We'll grab some interior plates, and hopefully that means we can pick these up. Alright, if I can get that plate right there. Why can't I get that plate? Dang it, come on. I can't pick up the stupid steel plate. Alright, well, I guess we are deconstructing this connector anyway, so it was useless to try and conserve it. Alright, yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's put some of these away. We'll do 50 of those. Maybe that'll give us enough inventory space to finish deconstructing this connector. And then that finally goes falling to the ground, which means I can now pick it up. Okay, that little diversion was annoying. I can take these back out. We'll put this thing back. Make it the same color. Okay. Let's now put a all we needed to do in that little thing was build this six-sided conveyor block. I'm actually thinking that I might make another place for the Ozymandias to connect rather than this place right here, but for now we're gonna leave it here. So I'll place the connector on bottom again. Alright, so I need construction components, small steel tubes, and motors to finish this off, and then we'll need a bunch of steel plates to hopefully get out there onto the ice. Now I've got a cool idea for how to make the ice work, or like the station out on the ice work. Okay, small steel tubes, motors, construction components. Let's put these up, take the rest of those. So what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna build a spinning drill rig that spins around, oh man, 12 more, that spins around and can lengthen and shorten itself so that not only can we increase the radius with which we're mining iron and ice, but we can also increase the depth with which we're mining it. So we'll see how well it works, and it may take some modifications. It's going to take a lot of tweaking to get it exactly right. So alright, man, all I'm getting is, let's put some of these up. Apparently didn't think they were as heavy as they were. Okay, so this is gonna be a long line of conveyors, which is a little annoying, and actually conveyors in this long of a line may actually have an impact on the performance of my game on my PC, but we'll see. But yeah, the main idea is that I want the iron to be able to come out of the ground and immediately be able to start processing using the arc reactor. Now the ice is going to be trickier. I'm going to have to build several large storage containers because we got to drill through a bunch of ice, and I don't necessarily, we don't need to keep all of it, so I may set up a conveyor sorter that takes some of it out of there, but I do want to be able to store some of the ice for later processing. But for the beginning, we actually may set one up. In fact, since we got to put a turn here anyway, why don't I go ahead and set that up? Let's do. Oh, I don't have interior plates. Actually, do I want to come out more than that anyway? Yeah, let's come out a little more than that anyway. how much further? Our new ship is going to be nice for being able to construct these conveyors, although I do need to start getting them processing, because I mean that's going to be probably over 100 conveyors. So let's go to production. We're going to go into the blocks and we'll start 100 of these making. Hopefully we'll have enough resources to be able to produce that many. The one thing I'm worried about is enough nickel and enough nickel for the motors, but also enough iron to make all these components, because this is actually a lot of iron components. But anyway, we'll let that keep going. I need the interior plates again to be able to make this block that I need to make. Okay, let's put one right here, and then under that we can put a conveyor sorter facing downward, and then a connector. And this can be where we not only lose our excess ice that we don't necessarily want to process, but we can also lose our stone if we hit stone pockets, because we're not going to want to keep processing tons of stone. Obviously we can turn that on and off whenever we need to, because we may want to keep some stone to process, we may want to keep the ice to process, so we'll modify this conveyor sorter whenever we need to change for what we're processing. Alright, let's continue this direction now. That's actually was a really good place for a turn. Ooh, that's kind of a trippy effect. Okay, and then I actually want to stay pretty far above the surface. I don't know exactly where it starts. I want to try to get as in the center of this pocket as we can. So we'll come out just a little bit more. And then I want to immediately put on a couple of large turrets. Alright, so that's pretty good. We'll call that done. I want to put on a couple of large turrets, specifically so that we have protection for when we actually hit the ground with this, because we're gonna I don't want to run into the same problem we had last time. So luckily this is gonna be conveyed, so we can put the large turrets on, and then we won't have to worry about like refilling the turrets. Like we do refill the turrets on the main station right now, but I don't want to have to do that with these. So we're going to put actual Gatling turrets on the sides here. Let's do that. And that. Okay, and those should be enough to keep all the cyber hounds at bay, letting us, do our thing without worrying about them being a problem. All right. So, in terms of building, I want to connect the main ship with the main ship together. You know what we're gonna need? Let's build out to the side. I wanted to connect the main base with with rotors to the drilling rig, but I also want it to be able to spin and everything without something like this getting in the way. So this is only temporary. We will actually move this later on, but it will allow us right now to plan out our drill head, or our rotor assembly without worrying about the cyber hounds down there. So alright, so we can put this there and this there. This one actually needs to be I don't want to have to redo this, so I'm going to go ahead and make this one a conveyor right now. And then we can have a rotor on top. And so what we're going to do is we're going to connect, using merge blocks, we're going to connect that rotor to this rotor, so both of the rotors are on part of the same grid, and therefore we can have them spin and provide support to the drill without you know, and they won't be separated, so they'll be both providing support, and the drill will be much more stable. Okay, so to be able to do this, we need conveyor blocks. You know, I might have actually put that one too low. Let's see. I was trying to leave enough room, but we don't need too much room. Okay, so if we put a merge block, yeah, I think I'm one too low for what I want to do. Let's get our merge block up. We can see. Okay, this one's not going to change, so I'll go ahead and put this merge block on. And then, yeah, so this merge block should actually be one higher. So let's go ahead and modify that, because I want to get as much room for pistons above the surface as possible. Yeah, we don't need to change that. We can just put this here. If I can find my conveyor again, there we go. We can put that there and then put the rotor on top of that now. Now, until the rotors are lined up, I can't actually add this second merge block. You know what? Is that gonna work? Yeah, okay, that's gonna work, because we need a conveyor on here, and then the merge block will go on top. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so we can't actually get that done because we can't put another merge block in here until we get these welded up, and then we can change the rotor displacement, because, you know, there's not enough space right now. But once we change the rotor displacement, we'll be able to get this merge block in here and we can get it connected up. Alright, so I'm going to see where our production is, if we have enough to at least do the rotors. Alright, so also I mentioned in the last video that I named this the Caesar, and this is the spelling of the Caesar dressing. So I'm going to change it to this kind of Caesar. And I was actually thinking, like, this is the name of certain rulers in ancient Rome. So we're going to actually name this the Julius Caesar. So this is now the PSP Julius Caesar, which is an actual, like, individual, just like Ozymandias was. Alright, so oh, I forgot to check the components. Let's connect that back up. Alright, so we need the large storage container. Oh, and I named the cargo container that too, of course. Caesar. Okay, so Caesar cargo. Alright, so let's go over here. We can do, we got Caesar cargo here. We can look at the assembler. We've got the assembler going, and it is making construction components. So let's look at all of the assemblers, and we can, if we do just the Caesar cargo, then we can just double click and move all of these things over. And with the construction components we have, we should be able to, and the other pieces, I think we'll be able to have enough components to get the rotors welded up, so we can keep going on the ship. We can do, and I'll probably do them all off camera, but all of the conveyors out to this point, we don't necessarily need to weld up right now. I'll probably do all of that off camera. Now, that being said, this is actually technically defying gravity right now. I might actually put some support struts on so it doesn't look so much like it's hanging out there in the air, but we're gonna go with this for now. Alright, we got that welded up. Okay, so that's the lower one. We can let that one finish. And then the upper one. Let's see if we have enough to finish this off. Oh, and I spun it. Of course I spun it. That's okay. All we gotta do is take it back down to 0 degrees, and should be fine. Alright, so as we weld it up, it should remove the ability for that spin to occur, if I have enough. Okay, so yeah, that one's good. Okay, we've gotten one of the turrets, which is good. I want the turrets active before we even try. We don't necessarily have to get the conveyors working yet, but I do want the turrets working so we can put some ammo in them before we actually touch the ground. So once we touch the ground, it becomes the purview of the cyber hounds, and you know, they can do whatever they want. All right. Okay, so we've got both turrets completely welded up and working. I'm gonna go ahead and get this these rotors. Do I have a? I don't have an antenna on the station. Okay, so I've got to actually interact with these control panels so that we can decrease the rotor displacement. Okay, advanced rotor. Oh man, what are these named? Okay, I think they're advanced rotor 4 and 6, but there's 2 4s here. Man, should have done this before. Okay, so these don't have any turns, so these are still, I think, good. But either way, changing the rotor displacement should not affect the solar panels at all. Did that do that? Okay. Yes, it decreased the rotor displacement. Okay, and I should be able to put the merge block in here, and we'll weld that up. And now that I know that those are the right ones, I'll change the name of them so that I don't get them confused again. Excellent. Okay, so those merge blocks are good. They're ready to connect to each other, and I'm gonna go ahead and stand here, interact with the. Actually, you know what? I could. I don't want to start using the spectator mode is too much of a crutch, but in some circumstances it's just impossible to get the views that you need. Okay, so if we do that, oh well, actually that's not gonna work anyway. Okay, well, we'll just I think all we need to do is increase yeah, let's go ahead and change this to let's say drill rotor 1, and we'll do the other one to drill rotor 2. Alright, that means that those two are ready to go, and I'm pretty sure if we decrease the displacement of both of them down to -25, then they should snap together. So let's see if that worked. Yes, okay, so now they are connected together, they are part of the same grid, and now we can connect them up with some other kind of block, which I'll do just a regular armor block all the way up. I'm going to actually do it on 2 sides, just because I don't want to accidentally grind up part 1 and then the whole thing comes apart. So I'm going to try to do a delicate maneuver here. We'll see how well it works. Turn on my grinders, and then I'm going to take these merge blocks out now. See, I don't want to accidentally get the conveyors or any of the other blocks. Oh, see, almost got that one. Let's there we go. Okay, just that merge block. Okay, and then we'll turn those off. I'm going to turn the welders back on just to make sure this conveyor is all the way solid. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave those on and position right there. I don't want to get too close to those welders or I will be up in smoke. But hopefully they can reach these blocks and weld them up. Okay, so those are good. We can technically go ahead and remove these side ones. I may actually go ahead and put some on the side again when I decide what to do. Okay, So now we have one solid grid. I should be able to, I think this lower one was the 6th, because that was the second one I put on. So if I set it to where the drill number 2, drill rotor 2 is the torque is 0, then it's going to have no push on when it needs to spin. So so now if drill rotor 2 is completely following drill rotor 1, then I should be able to change the velocity of drill rotor 1. Let's just set it really low. Should be able to change the velocity. And oh no, hydrogen. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Ah. Well, I deserve that. Gotta keep better track of my hydrogen. Okay. Let's respawn. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know. I think I can get over to the Caesar. I'll just go over to the Caesar and go from there. Man, it's the first time I've fallen just due to lack of hydrogen. Luckily I had my medical room. I was able to respawn. But you can see we set it very low, but since the upper rotor is turning, the lower rotor is now just following it. And it's turning at a very, very slow pace, which is perfect. And we actually might keep it that low depending on how much we need to do. So, all right. So here's my body. I've got to grab these tools because they're, you know, better tools than the ones that just come. Well, some of them are. Anyway, that's fine. And now we can go ahead and keep working on our drill rig. Although I do need to go and increase the amount of hydrogen I have. This is going to get more and more dangerous. I actually might want to build a 3rd hydrogen bottle, but I'll do that later off camera, so you don't have to watch that. Okay, let's put these bottles in here, get some more hydrogen going. When I realized that, I thought I could like save myself, and then I ended up falling anyway, so that's fine. While we're over here, let's go ahead and fill up the Julius Caesar with some kind of new, or all the new components we've created. Hopefully we've got more construction components, unless we ran out of iron and then it may be stalled, which it is. Okay, so we do need to get some hydrogen, some iron, but for now it'll work. We're just gonna put these in the Caesar, what we have. Let's actually put all of those in there, and then okay, construction components. Construction components are the ones that take the pretty much the longest to build, so I'm happy to have a good stock of those at least to start. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and continue working on our drill rig. Oh, the other thing I need to build is the ammo itself, but that's okay. Now that these are connected up, we need to get this block into the ground, which actually I don't think we can do. So you know what, I'm gonna go mine some iron so that we can make some ammo for the turrets, and then we'll go then I'll come back and we'll finish up this episode. I wouldn't usually include videos of mining. You know, I have included more in this series than I actually planned on it, but I wanted to show you something that happened after the mining. So I come down here and I mine up a bunch of iron. I get enough pretty quickly. It actually goes fairly quickly, and the Ozymandias, even though it doesn't brings you know very much iron back, it does bring back quite a bit, especially more than I could ever get by hand. But so I mine up enough to get this pipeline going, and then I start heading back to the surface. At some point I hear a sound like metal clanking, and I couldn't find it in the video, but I did hear something going on, and I was like, what is that? And then this happened. Ah, seriously? What the heck happened? How is that even possible? What? Oh my god. Are you kidding me? That makes no sense. Oh my god, okay. Alright, well, I have mined up iron, and I came back out of the cave. Came back out of the mine shaft, and the whole thing I've been working on is has fallen to the ground. And I don't quite know how. I mean, cyberhounds couldn't have gotten to that. It doesn't make any sense. What in the world? Well, shoot. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna cut it together because I'm not gonna reload, but I am gonna get us back to the point where we're at, and I'll just deconstruct everything and put it back together. It's really weird. Don't know how that could have happened. So things like this in Space Engineers are a little bit frustrating, but I mean, you kind of come to expect it. I mean, things happen, and in a world with, you know, fairly realistic physics. I mean, there's a few non-realistic things about the physics, but fairly realistic physics. I mean, you figure that things are going to fall, things are going to get damaged once in a while, so you kind of come to take it in stride. But then I realized why it occurred, and this is how I figured it out. Oh. Okay. Well, that's it right there. That is what caused it. The turrets, I've actually heard that this happens, but I've never actually seen it before. But our turrets are not smart enough to avoid our own creations whenever they're attacking something. So those turrets way up high over on my station, on my base, cannot avoid these conveyor blocks whenever they're shooting at the cyberhounds. So they're tracking the cyberhounds across the landscape, and it looks like they just will shoot through pretty much whatever they need to kill those cyberhounds. Alright, which is fine. I've got to take some precautions now. I've got to probably anchor this at several points into the ground before it causes me some huge issues in the future. So what we may do is we may start down here, and then we can connect it up. Since now on Space Engineers you can build on the same grid even if you're not starting with it attached. So I think I can start over here, and I'll anchor it into the ground so that if the turrets take out something, then they're not gonna take the entire thing apart. So that's really my bad. I mean, like, realistically, I should be engineering things in a in an assumed gravity environment where something like that wouldn't have happened anyway. That wouldn't have worked. So, all right. So I'm gonna start a new station here, and it'll line up on the same grid as our main station. So. Alright, so I guess I gotta be quick about this though. Oh man, look at that. This is just getting decimated. Alright. Once again, I've run out of hydrogen, so I'll have to run myself back over there. But I'm going to once again go ahead and get us back to where we were, and hopefully make it a little more stable, and then I will come back and we'll finish up. So we cut forward here to where I'm almost finished with the pipeline, and I did a couple of things differently. I built towers I built a tower at the bend, and I built a tower under the actual like turning rotors over on the actual like drill rig side. So I considered doing all of this in fast forward where I rebuilt it, but it made the video more than an hour long even at 4 times speed. So I decided against that, and then I considered making it into another episode, but then I decided against that too, because it would have been another episode of me doing the exact same thing, which would have been silly. So I do actually have all the footage of me rebuilding this whole thing, but if anybody for some reason wants to see it, just let me know. But for now, I just decided to cut it out. But everything seems to be working fine, and the turrets so far haven't destroyed anything again, so I guess we'll hope that that trend continues. Well, we have successfully finished our pipeline after a little bit of trouble with some cyber hounds and a little trouble from maybe our own turrets. I think we've gotten a design here that's going to work out. I still need to add back, I took out the conveyor sorter block that was going to separate the stone and the ice, so I'll need to add that back, but I'll do that in the next episode, as well as I will go ahead and build the actual drill rig onto this spinning, I don't know, it looks like a barbershop wheel. Anyway, so I'll add all that in the next episode. I've also added a cargo container down here, just because the cargo capacity we have on the station is not great, so I added just a little bit more, just so we can store some of the ice and some of the iron that we're hopefully going to pull out of the ground. We are actually also close enough to the uranium, so hopefully we'll be able to get some uranium out of this. I fixed the turret problem by adding a turret over here on this side, so theoretically any cyber hounds that come from this direction will be taken care of by this turret, so that those turrets over there and the turrets that are on the main base won't even have to fire a shot. So these turrets should take care of anything before it gets to that point, so then the interior turrets that are over on the actual base won't should not shoot far enough to hit these conveyor blocks. Anyway, so yeah, next time we're gonna build the drilling rig. I think this is gonna be a cool design, so I'm excited to see where it goes. Gonna do a lot of piston work next time, which can be a little tricky. So alright, well that's it for today. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you would like to see future updates, please subscribe to the channel. And my name's Daniel. Thank you for watching.